of American carnage than American compassion. But in America, you can't lead the people if you don't love the people. All the people. Now, our nominees, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they bring the joy. Think about it. They're descendants of immigrants, shopkeepers, slaves, educators, people who faced pain with perseverance, people who met hate with love. They are the living dreams of their ancestors. But look in this arena, look around you right now. We are all our ancestors' wildest dreams. Generations who faced impossible odds and that responded to every one of their challenges with that classic American creed, yes, we can. So there are doubters out there. There are people that doubt our collective strength. They want to tell us how bad we are. They want to say that they alone can save us. Well, we know that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And we're not going to lose our faith. Look, I want everybody in here to let us all say it together. I believe in America. Let me hear you. I believe in America. I believe in America because our elders told us that no matter what the obstacle, like the gospel says, we shall overcome. I believe in America because our soldiers died on beaches and battlefields. They died at sea and in the air so that we could be free today and say together, I believe in America. I believe in America because our fighters fought at Stonewall. Our marchers marched in Selma. Delegates met at Seneca Falls. Every single one of them believed in America, even when America didn't believe in them. Say it with me now. I believe in America because King dared to dream the impossible dream, because Neil Armstrong went to a
bigger stage. This is another opportunity for him to tell a lot of the stories that he told in Philadelphia. Maybe, elaborate a little more, maybe give a hint to what we might hear from Vice President Harris when she accepts the nomination tomorrow. But in terms of your overall question, will his style be different from in the House than as governor? We don't know. He has no governing philosophy now. Am I wrong? It's all going to be driven. It's going to be driven by, if she's elected, if they're elected, by President Harris, which is why, to David's point, we don't know what Vice President Harris's policy positions are on a whole host of things because, well, she hasn't needed to have one because she's been in support of Joe Biden.
We spoke with South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn on the broadcast earlier. To that very question, he said, right now it's enough for her to be buoyed by the energy and the momentum driven by the Democratic base, but at some point she owes the American people some specifics. We will see at what point that we see that pivot. David, how might Tim Walz make the best use of his time tonight on the convention stage and introducing himself to the American people and really defining and explaining what inspires and informs his public leadership?
Yeah, I would say they need to move beyond Team Blue. They've done a great job of making this party very excited and making it very cohesive. Like, they have done that chapter. But they have to understand that they're still, in my view, either tied or even slightly behind. I looked this up. Amy can correct me if I got it wrong. But in the last election, the polls undercounted the Trump vote by 3.3 percentage points. And in 2016, they undercounted by 2 point something. And so if that phenomenon of undercounting Trump happens again, then the slight margin that Kamala Harris right now is gone. So they really need to be aggressive about still expanding. And so we have Bill Clinton here, we had Barack Obama here, and they were Democrats who understood how to expand. And a couple of nights ago, Amy mentioned some of the things that Bill Clinton was for that you couldn't be for in today's Democratic Party. The crime bill, the welfare reform, even the Sister Soldier moment, which is when he went after a hip hop artist. I don't expect, and I would not hope that anybody would ever do that again. But they do have to do something to say, we're not just orthodox Democrats. And I don't think Walz can do that on policy and substantive grounds, but he can do it on cultural grounds and on just personality grounds. A lot, like I thought, the first Doug Emhoff's speech was so good because it was just personal. It was like, oh, I like that couple. I like those people. That sometimes is super important in life. Like, we want to hire people we like. And so if he can convey that kind of atmospherics, sort of a personality and a cultural style that doesn't seem like he came out of San Francisco, which he in fact did not, then he's ahead of the game.
Yeah. We know among the folks this ticket is trying to message to are disaffected Republican voters as well, and independents. We've seen several of them featured on the stage. I want to go down to the convention floor. If we have her up, I believe Laura Barone-Lopez has a guest who can speak to that. Laura, take it away.
Thanks so much, Amna. I have here with me former Congressman from Illinois, Joe Walsh, a lifelong Republican. Congressman Walsh, thanks for talking to us. What does Kamala Harris need to say at this convention to reach lifelong Republicans like yourself who may be disenchanted with their party?
She needs to say that Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy, and she needs to tell us who she is, what she believes in. So many people really don't know her. Look, I'm all in. We're all in with Republicans for Harris. I think we all want a better sense of her vision for the future.
And we're expected to hear tonight from former Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Jeff Duncan, a lifelong Republican himself. Do you think that voters who are centrists and Republicans will be impacted by hearing from voices like that?
Absolutely. I talk to Trump supporters and Republicans every day. They don't like Trump, but they're worried about Harris. So when they can see people like me and Duncan and Kinzinger and others come out, it helps to encourage them, give them the courage to come out and support Kamala.
What exactly policy-wise do you think she needs to define herself on more?
There's, Trump and is trying to paint her as some crazy leftist. She's not. And so I think we don't want a 10-point plan. We just want her vision for America. We've already got a sense of it. She's inclusive. She wants everybody with her, unlike Donald Trump, who's trying to scare people into voting for him.
Great, thank you, thanks. Former Congressman. Amna and Jeff, you heard that some Republicans, like former Congressman Joe Walsh, do want to hear a little bit more specifics from Harris when it comes to some of the policy.
Amy, when it was President Biden who was atop the ticket, there was that name double haters, people who didn't like either candidate. How is that shaken out now that it's Kamala Harris who is the Democratic nominee?
Yeah, what we should have called double haters are people who don't like Donald Trump and many people who were fine with Biden, but were not excited that he was the nominee. So when he left the race and Harris came in, those double haters, the ones who I called the meh on Biden, they went over to Harris. So the double hater contingency has shrunk a great deal with Harris on top of the ticket. Now, there still are people who say they dislike both candidates, and whether those voters end up voting, right? If you dislike both of them, the odds are you may say it's not worth it because I don't like either one, or you're just waiting. And so for some of them, it may be, that's why these events are important. I'm going to wait and see. And the debates are important. I'm going to wait and see if they can speak to the things that make me dislike them equally.
Yeah. Let's head down to the convention stage because Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy is set to address the convention crowd here. He, of course, became a leading voice on gun control after Sandy Hook. Here he is.
I just want to let you know, that everything that you just saw in that video, that's exactly what happened. I know because I was the Democratic senator who negotiated that bill to secure the border with President Biden and Vice President Harris. I want to tell you this as well. Donald Trump's allies weren't just in the room. They helped us write the whole bill. It was a bipartisan bill.
It was a tough bill. $20 billion in new border security, gave the president the emergency power to shut down the border, made compassionate but serious reforms to our asylum system. One Republican said it would have had almost unanimous support if it weren't for Donald Trump. Trump killed that bill, and he did it because he knew that if we fixed the border, he'd lose his ability to divide us, his ability to fan the flames of fear about people who come from different places. Right? You guys know this, right? Hate and division, that's Trump's oxygen. Right? People like Trump and J.D. Vance, they need it to survive in politics. People are saying that they're weird, that they're creepy, and they are weird, they are creepy. But even worse, they're weak. Kamala Harris is not weak. For 20 years, Kamala Harris has been tough as nails when it comes to securing our border. When she was a California prosecutor, she went after drug smugglers, human traffickers. She put 100 gang members away in a single sweep. Trump says that a safe nation can't be an immigrant nation. That's flat wrong, and Kamala Harris knows it. She knows this too. Engraved on the Statue of Liberty is a poem. The last line reads, "I lift my lamp beside the golden door." For generations, that lamp has called people to start a brave new life in America. My ancestors, your ancestors, and the parents of the next president of the United States of America. Kamala Harris knows that we can be a nation of proud immigrants and a nation of strong immigration laws. That's why when she's president, she will bring that border bill back, and Kamala Harris is going to pass it. How do I know this? Because in this race, there is only one candidate who has ever been willing to do the worthy, redeeming work of making our country better, of recognizing that we do not have to choose between celebrating our heritage and enforcing our laws, right? The beautiful thing about America is that we can be both. We can be a nation of immigrants who love their country and a nation with a secure border. And there is only one candidate who can deliver that vision of America, and it's Kamala Harris. Thank you very much, Democrats.
Please welcome Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar.
On the other side of the border, the traffickers, they pack migrants into 18-wheelers like cattle, 50, 100 at a time. Then they seal the doors. That's when the 911 calls come. We hear them, desperate, terrified, gasping for air. Now, sometimes we get there in time. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we can't. When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, Down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out. I may be paraphrasing a bit. We protect them. Now, the border sheriffs that I know, right, and we're like Kamala. We protect and serve. We enforce the law. We show compassion. And we fight like hell to protect our border. Because as we've always known in Texas, cuando luchamos, ganamos. When we fight, we win.
Please welcome California Representative Pete Aguilar.
You just heard there from a border sheriff from Texas, that was Javier Salazar, speaking on the issue of immigration. Back here with our panel, we should talk more about this issue because we know it's going to be something we hear a lot about tonight. And David, it is worth noting that this is an issue Republicans have held the trust advantage, still hold the advantage, even when people look at who
Definitely appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, man. As usual, we're going over the coverage of the DNC. One man, the number one soul brother, you know what I'm saying, dog. But it's something that I want to jump in this joint real quick and talk about, because the one thing that I like that's going on now is she's going directly to the heart of Republicans. You know what I'm saying? She going directly to what they think is their thing. Like, for this whole past 2-3 years, they've been driving people around, stopping them off in New York and all these places and shit, right? So that means the motherfucking border bill shit, or the border was more of their thing. Is what they banked on winning elections on, right? So they banked on that, and they banked on the fact that they had the game plan for Biden. Those two things, the game plan for Biden and the border, right? That's why I like the fact that she bringing up people that's telling them about the bill that they had, and it was killed. So they worked on something. You feel me? So she really making it clear that not only that I'm strong on the border too. This is something Biden wasn't doing. I'm strong on the border too. I locked such up. Nah, I'm stronger than him. Let's play these border games. You know what I'm saying? So she going directly at their strength, because she hit him with the motherfucking border, and she hit the numbers down on the border. This shit is completely over because there's nothing else left but the border. Even though the border, we already know the numbers are down, but people don't have that sense of it because they done made it a dramatized thing where they drove people around. So you think it's a thing down there. That's why I think they should do a border tour, bus tour. Just go around each border states and show that it's not hectic, as they saying. And everything they've been doing so far without Republican help has been doing things on the border. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I agree with most of what you're saying. What they're doing is basically, it's like she's taking the border issue. It's gonna all come down to the economy, because the minute that Donald Trump told the Republicans to don't vote for it, don't pass that bill, because it's not gonna look good for his campaign, and he didn't want to give Biden a win, that was over for the Republicans. As you knew, whoever was running was gonna put that out there, so that was gonna take that off the table. So only other thing he ahead on is the economy. I think she'll catch him on that, and he
That's what I'm
won't have no
saying.
issues to run on.
That's what I'm saying. The economy more easier for her to go directly at the border is smart. It's smart shit.
Yeah, you took it off the table, so you're gonna have to force. It's gonna come down once you take immigration off the table, and she get that, and especially if she start leading on that, then it's going to come down to How's the economy the last 3.5 years that she was in office with Biden? And how was the economy when Trump left office? And the numbers
That's what I'm
don't
saying.
lie.
Exactly. But I want to see that the border debate once they get into the debates, because he really don't do nothing but just talk shit about the border. He don't know nothing about the border and shit. You know what I'm saying?
What's going to happen is when you get into the debate, that's probably that's probably going to be within the second set of questions because I got them asking about the charges or whatever the fuck, and some other shit first. So somewhere in the debate, it's going if it is a debate, I believe when it happens. But she shuts him down off the break. As soon as they say immigration and he say anything about immigration, all she gonna say is, "Hold on, we had a bipartisan bill.
Yep.
Uh, it was the toughest. It's the toughest. It was the toughest on immigration ever, and on border crossings, and this, that, and the third. And even though you told your colleagues in the House to shut it down, me and President Biden, we still made changes or improvements on the border, and
Executive orders.
illegal immigration is down. So she shuts him down. What could he come back with? He can't.
That,
He can only come back with a bunch of lies.
exactly. That's why I say this is a smart strategy, just to go straight at the border thing
Yeah,
and just leave it up to the economy. You feel me? That's smart.
yeah. And it's gonna come down to the middle class versus the 1%. It's gonna come down to that.
Exactly. She
And
clearing the deck from
and
everything else. Exactly.
so once it comes down to that, uh, social issues, he can't fuck with her on no issue for real. He can go back and he was going to do if it is a debate, he's going to do all type of wild dumbass shit to try to gin up his base. That's all he got left, and he knows he can't win it with it.
Look weak.
He can't
He has
win with his
created,
base.
and we saw it at the RNC, he has created a narrative for this race that is about who is strong and who is weak, who's going to protect you and keep you safe, and who is not. And the border being the centerpiece of that argument for him, and that it allows permission structure, essentially, even for people who aren't top concern, where their top concern is not immigration, but to say, she wasn't really strong there. How can I trust that she's going to be strong on these other things she said she was going to be, or be as experienced, or as sort of be able to follow through on those things?
But for those independent and swing voters who might decide this election, what I hear you say is that arguments about the immigration.
Another thing. What's your thoughts on the fact that the protesters and all that almost non they ain't, I don't even see what the fuck they at.
I wanted to speak on the protesters last night because they about to something wrong with them people.
I got go ahead because it's something
Y'all
else.
out here, y'all out here running up in the streets, getting locked up, getting into all these back and forth with all these people because you want Biden and Harris. I guess you want them to flex their muscle and make Netanyahu do what y'all want him to do. But it ain't like that.
Yeah.
But y'all, these people will listen. These people are really coming from the same place that the protesters is coming from. They want to end to the war. They want to see immediate ceasefire. They want the hostages released. They want the bombing to stop in Gaza. Everybody's in the same place. What I don't get is why is y'all protesting and making a scene at the people who are listening to your grievances and agree with your grievances, but you won't take this shit to the man on the other side, who, according to reports, has been on the phone and has worked with Netanyahu to prolong the war till after the election. In the same way he did the thing with the Republicans to stop the border bill. He's doing the same thing with Netanyahu to prolong the war. Because if you can get an immediate ceasefire, it's over. You know.
And this this
And
is
like
this this is somebody that was actually in the room with Trump. This is a Republican on the stage now talking.
oh yeah, she led the
I grew
she's
up
one of the heads of
in the kind of
Republicans for
working
her.
family that Trump pretends to care about. Conservative, Catholic, Texan. July 4th was our most sacred holiday. Those values made me a Republican. And they're the same values that make me proud to support Kamala Harris. Not because we agree on every issue, but because we agree on the most important issue, protecting our freedom. So to my fellow Republicans, you aren't voting for a Democrat. You're voting for democracy. You aren't betraying our party. You're standing up for our country. Thank you. Gracias.
Please welcome former Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan.
Good evening. Good evening. I bring greetings from the great state of Georgia. So let's get the hard part out of the way. I am a Republican. But tonight, I stand here as an American.
Another Republican?
An American that cares more about the future of this country than the future of...
Wait, hold on. Man, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you some real shit. After watching a few of these joints, right, over years, I just never seen this many Republicans in no Democrat joint. This is over the fucking top. That's what I was asking you. Did you seen that before? Because I don't know.
I've seen it before, but I ain't ever seen that many. I've seen like 1, 2.
Oh yeah, I remember
3,
that type shit.
Something like that.
But god damn. It's a racket, these motherfuckers.
I tried to tell you last night what it's all about. They trying to look. The Republicans want their party back. They want Trump gone. Because as soon as look, I think really real Republicans are resigned to the fact that if she wins, she's getting 8 years. Because they got to rebuild her after this Trump and MAGA shit, and they still got to get them crazy motherfuckers out. They got to rebuild the party. Who the fuck they gonna put out there in 2028? If she have a good 4 years, I'm asking who in the Republican Party can they put up against her in 2028 that will have a chance?
2028?
Yeah. Who's next to come up after Trump? After Trump is gone, Trump loses, Trump is gone. So you basically gotta rebuild the party.
So we know for a fact.
So who you gonna put out there against her in 2028?
So we know if they lose, JD Vance gonna run, right?
JD Vance is done.
So I'm thinking
Vance is over.
He gonna run. So that means he gonna get the MAGA. It's gonna be automatic MAGA. But the thing is the MAGA still gonna be strong after Trump is gone? That's the key point of this. And then how much of that can he lean into? You know what I'm saying? He's not really, you know what I'm saying? He's not Trump. So I don't know how he can make it work. So that's the big thing.
The only one that can make MAGA work is Trump. It's the only one.
That's what we got to wait to see. We don't know yet.
It didn't got nobody else after Trump. MAGA's over.
I don't know. What's his name? JD Vance probably take over their ass.
He can try. Look,
I'm trying to think of a lunatic probably on YouTube or something. One of them fools.
Look, it was supposed to have been DeSantis.
Oh, what's his name? Used to be on Fox. They fired his ass.
Who, Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. I mean,
he'll be a problem. Like 2028, if he run, that'd be an issue.
Nah.
Because they'd get all that shit.
All
Republican wild people shit. He'd get all them.
See, this is the thing. This is what I believe is going to happen. I believe Trump loses in November. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party is already split because you got your regular Republicans on one side, and you got MAGA on the other side. So basically, they split. After this election, if it goes the way we see it going, the split gonna be wider than ever. They're gonna have to rebuild that part. And JD Vance is done. Forever come in the middle, vice president or president. He could run, but he done. All that weirdo shit and all the weird shit he got coming out and all his views against women, he done.
He definitely.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Huh? I ain't never heard him say that.
And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
50. It does look like we're going to have an ad hoc march stepping off here. There's a crowd surge heading east.
Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. I will tell you right now.
Nigga said I'll be very disappointed in you.
We're going to give riot warning. This is the apparatus here. We're going to give riot warning. We're going to try and get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
5 to 50 be advised, trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff, because they got so many people watching this convention. You got to remind them of that shit.
Nah, they put that joint out. They put that. Yeah, see what's got it on? It got it on in the hours where everybody watching.
That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, 8:30. 8:30.
This smart shit right here. Hey man, this shit, man, they flawless. I mean, a lot of y'all, everything they do. It ain't because I like motherfucking her. I know I fuck with her, but this shit, like next level campaigning, bro.
We can't all this we're gonna go people. Look at this man.
We're trying to hold the upper bed. We're trying to hold the upper bed down.
Like this shit I forgot about. It was just many people acting a fool.
House members, you're all walking over now.
Look at this shit though, bro. Look at Pence though. I remember this. Bro, if they showed the scene when main man was about to fuck dude up, security guard grabbed him. Oh shit! Look at that wild shit, bro.
The doors barricaded. There's people.
Lock all that bitch asses up.
No way out.
Every one of them.
Still remaining on the House floor, so we can secure the members on the other side.
I remember this shit too. Damn. All these rednecks. Look at this dumb shit, Tom. See, he closed that nigga up in the door.
And if I win, I will be looking very, very strongly about pardons. And I mean full pardons with an apology to many, an apology.
1,500 people have been charged for crimes related to the insurrection. He said he was pardoned. Look at this wild shit though, bro. Just imagine everybody was black. What would have happened on this scene right here, bro?
And I mentioned the word love. The love
This
in
scene
the air,
right
I've
here
never
with
seen
black
anything
people been
like it.
crazy.
They was
Look
black.
at this shit.
Everybody black would have got shot. You see what happened?
Would have had a black
You see
power
what happened to the
flag up.
one black dude. The one black dude that they got in that January 6th shit. He got. Well, I don't know if he still got it, but he had more time than anybody, maybe now or up to some point, and he didn't
That
even
was
go
good
in.
stuff.
Please welcome Mississippi Representative Benny Thompson.
That was some good stuff. Now I wonder who, after playing that, who gonna come up? Oh yeah, him. You know what I mean? He did the January 6th committee.
He on the committee.
Good stuff. I like this. I like this.
On January 6th, like most of my colleagues, I had one goal: to uphold the votes of the American people, the cornerstone of our American democracy. But as what you've just witnessed, let me remind you that the members of that violent mob had another goal. They wanted to stop the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in American democracy. Thank God they failed. Because in this country, we settle our differences at the ballot box, not through violence. It took a long time to get here, and we are not going back. Because I remember that dark history. It's my own history. In this life, my father never cast a vote because of Jim Crow. So I dedicated my career to protecting the votes against violence and discrimination. You can imagine what I felt on January 6th when I saw with my own eyes those insurrectionists trying to take that away. They did it to rob millions of Americans of their votes. They did it because Donald Trump couldn't handle losing. He lied about the election fraud. He called his conspiracy-led mob to Washington. He would rather subvert democracy than submit to it. Now he's plotting again. His campaign proclaims that elections won't end until the moment of inauguration. We will win or it was rigged. We win or else. This is Donald Trump's America. Elections are about choice. Choose democracy, not political violence. Choose the America we've always taught our children to love. Choose Kamala Harris.
Hey, tune in right now. This is Hood View Politics, and we following the DNV the DNV convention, and we tapping into what's going on there. We following this thing been live every night. We appreciate everybody that tunes in and check us out. We appreciate y'all a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? This is something different for us. This all shit is new to us. You know what I'm saying? So we just going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? But these last few nights, following the joint, that I feel like it's a theme going on, and they got a perfect. Everything is perfect. They laying it out perfectly. And everybody don't know tonight is the night that the vice president nominee gets his nomination. So this is a huge night tonight. So what you think about the Mr. Walsh coming up tonight? What you think he's gonna talk about? What you think? You think gonna have a motherfucker bomb ass speech or what? Is it gonna be some little?
What kind of speech? I think he's gonna come out there. He gonna introduce himself, and then he gonna fire Trump up. He gonna fire Trump and J.D. Vance up.
Now everybody don't know John Legend should be coming on. I don't know if he came on or not yet.
Nah,
but he should be coming on. And then tomorrow night, Pink will be on to introduce the first black lady. Now everybody been worrying about that being motherfucking Beyonce or What's the white girl name?
Beyonce supposed to be there tomorrow.
What's her name? Beyonce or the white girl? They wanted her to be the singing the joint, right? But I think that would have been a bad mistake for Beyonce or what's the white girl name?
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, or Taylor Swift to be there, right? Because this is a convention, right? So each one of those people can have their own event itself and raise money. You know what I'm saying? Like Beyonce is going to have a motherfucking event. Her and Jay-Z going to have an event for the first black lady. That's where they're going to break in all the dollars in. Like, this is different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like it was smart for her to just put Pink here and put John Legend in there, put the mega joints and let them put their own joints and raise their own money for the campaign, which is going to be way more if they do something separate. Like Beyonce and G going to do a separate thing. They did shit for Hillary Clinton, so I know it's coming for her.
Beyonce introduces Kamala tomorrow.
No, I'm talking about a big ass. She gonna do a motherfucking
They're
joint where she
gonna
gonna
do fundraisers.
sing.
All of them gonna do fundraisers.
It's gonna be a party.
She gonna
have one.
Yeah, all of them gonna do it. I mean,
That's why she didn't do it tonight.
That's where all that shit starts.
Because if you do it tonight, it's not fundraising, right? Like the night that she do it, she gonna do it real soon. Her and Jay-Z gonna have a fundraiser party, and they gonna get up there and sing and do their old joints. All that shit gonna happen, and that's when they gonna raise tons of money off of that. That's why it's smart not to do them on these nights right here and wait and let them do separate nights on their own.
Well, you gotta let the convention be the convention. You gotta let her get the nomination, accept the nomination, and be official. It's not official till she accepts the nomination. So you gotta let all of that play out, and then all the other shit fall into place.
But she got John Legend, she got Pink.
I mean, Oprah gonna be there tonight, and she was supposed to be there.
You could have took Pink out and put Beyonce in there. It's a reason why you don't. That's what I'm pointing out. It's a reason why
Beyonce's supposed to perform tomorrow night before Kamala Harris speaks anyway.
She's not.
Pink just supposed to close.
Beyonce is not performing.
There was a press release earlier this week.
She's not performing.
Beyonce was supposed to be the one. She was supposed to perform and introduce Kamala Harris for her nomination speech. That was
she might get up there and talk on the mic and say,
if it changed, I don't know. They say she's supposed to sing too. I don't know.
No, she's not singing. You wouldn't have Pink there if she gonna sing.
I mean, come on, you got John Legend and Stevie Wonder tonight. You got Patty Bell and somebody else last night. This is a party.
I mean,
it's official proceeding, but it's a Democratic party.
I mean, Ash, what do you like about the motherfucking roll call joint with that last night, man? That shit was slick.
Oh, that was nice.
And it literally never happened before.
Nah.
I'm wondering why nobody
not the way they did it.
There's no, when you think about it, it's like, why you never thought of that shit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Probably
like
somebody did, but you gotta understand, before then you was dealing with old school politicians. Somebody probably wanted to then do it, and then was probably shut down. Said, "No, we're not gonna do this." And then this year happened to be the year somebody said, "We want to do it like this. Do that shit."
And even motherfucking Clinton was progressive that everybody thought was doing new things. He didn't even do that shit. Obama. Do you think Obama would think of that? He didn't even think of that shit. It takes. That's why I say
was going on tradition.
That's why I say she more black. I'm gonna keep pointing out situations that she's just more blacker than him. Period.
No,
it's just hard. You cannot deny her. Just beginning her campaign is more blacker than him. You had a fucking DJ, a DJ. Why about what? Obama ain't do that. That's normally black culture.
You have to understand this too, and everybody got to understand this. They say, but Obama didn't do this and Obama do that. A lot of shit Obama couldn't do, and a lot of shit Obama had to go on for existence.
Wait,
he was
what?
the first
Obama could have had a DJ and had his motherfucking.
He was the first. Hold on.
What do you mean?
He was the first one. He broke down a lot of doors that allow her to do what she's doing.
No.
Every convention that's been ran up to this point has been run on tradition. They ran it the same way. Now you got people.
That's my point. You're making my point though. You're making my point.
Right.
The reason why I had problems with Obama, it's because of that. He stayed within the guardrails. It's obvious from the vice president pick on that she don't give a fuck about the guardrails. That's my point. I'm trying to tell you that her blackness.
That's the same
Hold
thing
on,
I'm saying.
hold on. Her blackness is coming out. I already said it from the beginning. Her blackness is gonna come out way more than his in this campaign, bruh. I'm trying to tell you, and it's showing early. First of all, DJ. Nobody thought of that because nobody was her. Obama should have thought of that, but for some reason he didn't. You see what I'm saying?
Because he was too busy becoming the first black president. He was doing something that never ever been done before, and nobody ever thought would happen. Getting the DJ at his convention, I think, would have been the last thing on his mind.
Exactly.
Hey,
that's my point. But when you black, don't you think me and you would have thought that?
Black ain't got nothing to do with it. What the fact of the matter is, the man was running for president, and whoever was running his convention,
right? Again, whoever you put in charge, it reflects your blackness too. What are your point? You're making my point, bro. You making my point.
I don't think nobody more blacker than nobody else. But hey,
you making my point.
That's what you feel. That's what you feel.
No, it's what's happened. I'm pointing out every situation as we go. What makes her blacker? You had cheerleaders, black from a black college, cheerleading last night. That goes over other people's head, but you ain't see it. It was there. Did you see that? Okay, then. Now you stand with me. Just stay with me. That she blacker. That's what I mean by black.
Not blacker than that, man. She just doing
Stevie Wonder standing in your face.
She just doing the things that that man didn't do. She doing it much different from that.
When you got Stevie Wonder talking now.
When
what are we rapping about? He didn't do none of this.
When the angry spirits
stop
now is the time.
Oh, I'm about to go back because Obama has the stars of this.
Hold on, what?
Obama has the stars of his inauguration. I'm about to go back. I mean, his convention.
This is the moment to remember.
This is bleeding with your black.
Tell your children
it's
where
different.
you were and what you did. As we stand between history's pain and tomorrow's promises, we must choose courage over complacency. It is time to get up and go vote. Listen, the choice is clear. Clear than anyone else is saying. Did you hear me? Clear than anyone else is saying. You feel me? We need to choose joy over anger, kindness over recrimination, and peace over war. Every time. We must choose to be above the ugly words, the hateful anger, and the division those words and anger create. We must keep on keeping on.
Shouts out to Reed, man. Appreciate you a whole lot, man. Be sending those videos, man. I be checking those bums out too. And I'll be trying to respond to you.
United States.
Appreciate you a whole lot, Reed. Keep sending those motherfucking videos to these bums.
We will reach a higher ground.
Everybody watch right now. Shouts out to Reef. One of our number one
Are y'all
hoodies.
ready to reach a higher ground? Are you ready to reach a higher ground? Tell me.
When you listen to now, it's Stevie
I want
Wonder,
to hear you again. Are you ready?
one of the greatest black musicians who ever lived.
Are we ready? Because you know we need Kamala Harris. Yes, we do. And we need a great man, as we do have, as a future vice president. You know that. So you know what? I'm depending on you to do, as Spike Lee would say, the right thing.
You know.
Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are you ready? Mowski, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kansas, are you ready?
All right, everybody. Clap your hands like this. Everybody clap your hands.
Let's go.
Clap, clap, clap.
Let's go.
Now somebody scream.
This like this is black. Get black. We'll get black and black. Here we go. Ooh. You can sing along with us, white people. I know y'all use this at y'all parties and stuff. Let's go.
I want y'all to sing with me. Come on. People. You sing.
Yeah.
Keep on
It was a shit. I was a little ass kid in Pampers. Folks are singing this, my guy.
Y'all say keep on one.
It was cranking in the house.
Yeah. Whoa. Keep on turning.
Yeah. A legend, baby. Let's get this party started. Party cool, baby.
Keep on lying. While your people
Stevie Wonder or Kid Rock. Who you prefer?
keep on turning.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Now, another thing that's happening tonight, right, is the fact that her nominee is coming from Minnesota. And if everybody don't know, Minnesota is the birthplace of another black musician. We're going to just keep getting black. Prince, baby. Prince is going to be put front line and center tonight, baby. So check that out, too. You know what I'm saying, dog? Prince, another black. Oh, man, I can't take it. This just feel like Soul Train Awards almost.
I forgot Philly E gonna be there too.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Stevie Wonder. Yes.
Somebody scream!
Man, when you hear music like this, you just.
Oh yeah. Now you know, Open definitely gonna be there. Gale ass there.
Just bring back so much memory. When you start listening to Stevie Wonder songs, it's just black culture itself. Period. So let's talk about something real quick. The news that just broke a few minutes ago.
And what is that?
That RFK Jr. is about to jump out and back Donald J. Trump. Friday morning, them two gonna be together. Gonna be a press conference. What you think about that?
Nothing. I think that RFK knew. I think he was on pace to get like. I think he's gonna get like 4 or 5% of the vote. If he got the 5, if he'd have got 5% of the vote, then his campaign or whatever the name of his campaign, his party would have became an official party, and it would have been a third, another party.
Oh, let me interrupt you for a minute. They doing the Project 2025.
Oh, it's the second one.
Yeah, boo. It is a real document that you can read for yourself at kamalaharris.com/Project 2025. You ever seen a document that could kill a small animal and democracy at the same time? Here it is. You know how when you download an app and there are hundreds of pages there that you don't read, it's just the terms and conditions, and you just click agree, right? Well, these are the terms and conditions of a second Trump presidency. You vote for him, you vote for all of this. Let's take a look. All right, do we got Matt here with us tonight? Is Matt here? Hey, there he is. Matt, how are you, sir? All right, Matt. Now, Matt I understand that you work as an AT
Listen up to
tech in
everybody.
Nevada.
Listen to
and
this
you make a
podcast. This is
decent
real
hourly
important.
wage. Is
Project
that right?
2025.
Oh, I don't know if we can hear Matt. Can we hear
My
Matt?
guy, unmute yourself, my guy.
So who's gonna fix it?
He got me unmute yourself.
Keep speaking, Matt, till we can hear you.
Unmute yourself, Matt.
Okay, that's good.
All
I
right,
guess
who's
we're
this?
gonna move on from Matt. And this is Becky. Becky, can we hear you?
Can you hear you?
Hi, Keenan. It's great to be here.
We can hear you.
Thank you. All right, good. Now,
goodness.
Becky, you're married, correct?
I am. Me and my wife have been together for about 8 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Very, very cute.
Thanks.
But I have got some bad news for you.
I hate that.
On page 584, Project 2025 calls for the elimination of protections for LGBTQ plus Americans. So yeah,
That's
right back
terrible.
to the Stone
That-
Age. I'm afraid so.
Right back to the Stone Age. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Becky, for being here and making that wonderful point. All right, next up, we have Nirvana. Nirvana, are you with us? And your people are with us as well? All right, good. Now, Nirvana, I understand
Yes.
that you are on insulin to manage your diabetes, yes?
Yes, and thanks to President Biden and Vice President Harris, I only pay $35 a month for my insulin.
That is great. That is great. But on page 465, Project 2025 calls for millions of people like yourself to pay more for prescription drugs like insulin.
Why?
Why? Well, I guess maybe to help Big Pharma make more money that they can donate to Republican politicians, I assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, unfortunately, it does make sense. All right, let's talk to Anita. Anita, are you there? Yes. Hello, Anita.
Hello.
And Anita, what do you do for a living?
I'm an OBGYN who delivers babies and does surgery.
An OBGYN. She is an OBGYN that delivers babies. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah, it's bad news, isn't it?
It sure is. On page 459, Project 2025 resurrects a law from the 1800s called the Comstock Act to ban abortion nationwide and throw healthcare providers in jail.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Yes, it is awful. All right, let's do one more. Is Sharia with us? Sharia, are you there?
Hey, Keenan, I'm here.
Yes, Sharia, I love it. All right, let's talk to you. I understand that you work for the federal government?
Yes, sir. I'm in the United States Department of Education. I'm a proud civil servant and a proud union president.
She works for the Department of Education and she's a proud civil servant. Well, unfortunately for you, on page 78, Project 2025 calls for President Trump to purge the civil service of everyone who isn't a MAGA loyalist. Are you a MAGA loyalist?
Now, Keenan, absolutely not.
I'm just asking. I mean, you might as well be, because also page 319 calls for the complete elimination of the Department of Education. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but that's all we have time for at the moment. Just remember, everything that we just talked about is very real. It is in this book. You can read it online at kamalaharris.com/Project 2025. And most importantly, you can stop it from ever happening by electing Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
Please welcome award-winning producer and writer, Mindy Kaling.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the third night of the Democratic National Convention. My name is Mindy Kaling. Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I am an incredibly famous Gen Z actress who you might recognize from The Office. Thank you, The Mindy Project. Or as the woman who courageously outed Kamala Harris as Indian in an Instagram cooking video. Yes, you're welcome. I am so proud to be here supporting my friend. But the real reason I am here is that deep down, I truly believe that as a woman of color and as a single mother of 3, it is incredibly important that I be appointed ambassador to Italy. That's how this works, right? That's like why I'm here. I've never been, I'm dying to go. And guys, I just really need a break. I know it's not the priority tonight, but just think about it. I am actually here because I have known the vice president for a long time. And I want to tell you a story about one of the first times I ever met her. She wasn't Madam Vice President then. She was my senator. And we were filming a video where she came to my home to cook dosas, a South Indian dish. Yes. It's not every day that a senator comes over, and I was pretty nervous. But when she arrived, we immediately hit it off. We talked about the love we have for our moms, who had both passed away from cancer. Both of our mothers were immigrants from India who came to America and committed their lives to serving others. My mother, Swati, became an OBGYN. Thank you. Kamala's mother, Shaimala, became a scientist with a PhD who dedicated her life to trying to find a cure for cancer.
Hold up.
And after speaking to Kamala,
Let me ask you something. Now, first of all, this is the female that was on the video with her that Trump is using her as the Indian thing. That's a good thing to put her up here, right? Let me see if she's gonna clear that whole thing up, because I think that's why she's here.
so as she
Yes,
gently
yes,
corrected
Indian.
my sloppy dosa making, she was complimenting me every step
She is
of the way,
gorgeous too. I love
making
her.
sure that my daughter Kit heard how good of a cook I am.
I just love all the little
She
shows she was
had
on.
no desire to be seen as better than anyone else. She just wanted my kid to be impressed with her mom.
But I'm gonna tell her now.
And when she
If she get pulled over,
finally bit into my dosa, she looked at me
Please
and
pull her
said,
over.
Really good.
Your
and
ass
then
black,
never took
bitch.
another bite again. Yes. But it is that warmth, that generosity of spirit that I know she will bring to the White House as our next president. Kamala Harris cares deeply about other people. She will fight to protect our freedoms because those are the values that her mother passed down to her. But in order to protect those freedoms, Democrats also need to win the House. So we have a lot to do, and please welcome to the stage your next Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries.
oh yeah, my guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's my guy. Hey, the next Speaker of the House, a black man.
Good evening, Democrats.
With the first black lady. We can do this, baby.
It's a
We
high
can do
honor
a twofer.
and a distinct privilege as a Brooklynite, New Yorker, and as an American to stand before you today and unequivocally express my support for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be the next president and vice president of the United States of America.
Over the last few years, House Democrats have been hard at work, and we could not have asked for a better leader to partner with than President Joseph Robinette Biden, who will go down as one of the most consequential presidents of all time. Last month, President Biden selflessly passed the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris, who is ready, willing, and able to fight for the people. Kamala Harris is a courageous leader, a compassionate leader, and a common sense leader who will deliver real results for everyday Americans. Kamala Harris is fighting for our freedom. Kamala Harris is fighting for our families. Kamala Harris is fighting for our future. Together, let's make Kamala Harris the 47th President of the United States of America. In our great country, when you work hard and play by the rules, you deserve to earn a living wage. You deserve to have an affordable place to call home. You deserve to educate your children in a great public school that is free from gun violence. And you deserve high quality, affordable health care, and you deserve the chance to one day retire with grace and with dignity. But for far too many people in our great country, they are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. And as a result, the American dream is out of reach. Here's the thing, extreme MAGA Republicans don't care about everyday Americans. They only care about themselves. Our approach, led by Kamala Harris and Coach Walz, is very different. We care about you, the American people. And we will fight hard to make sure that the American dream is alive and well in every single community. Now, the road ahead will not be easy, which brings me to you-know-who. Donald Trump is like an old boyfriend who you broke up with, but he just won't go away. He has spent the last 4 years spinning the block, trying to get back into a relationship with the American people. Bro, we broke up with you for a reason. Trump was the mastermind of the GOP tax scam, where 83% of the benefits went to the wealthiest 1% in America. Trump failed our country during the COVID-19 pandemic. Trump is a chaos agent who is focused on himself, not the American people. Trump tried to destroy our democracy by lying about the election and inciting a violent mob to attack the Capitol. Trump put 3 extreme justices on the Supreme Court who destroyed Roe v. Wade. We broke up with you for a reason. Donald Trump can spin the block all he wants, but there's no reason for us to ever get back together. Been there, done that. We're not going back. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will always put people over politics. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will lower costs and grow the middle class. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will fix our broken immigration system and secure the border. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will strengthen the relationship between the police and the community. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will continue to combat the climate crisis with the fierce urgency of now. Kamala Harris and House Democrats will protect Social Security, protect Medicare, protect Medicaid, protect the Affordable Care Act, protect working families, protect small businesses, protect the middle class, protect free enterprise, protect our children, protect our seniors, protect our veterans, protect our unions, protect our dreamers, and always protect a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions. The extreme MAGA Republicans want to divide us. But the Constitution promises equal protection under the law. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Together, 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 let's.
What do you think about Hakeem Jeffries? Oh shit.
Being Speaker of the House would be really good for him. He's a good speaker. He can talk, he can give a speech. Just need a little polish. That's all. Get a little bit smoother.
Me personally, I really like him because not because he ain't a good speaker. I mean talker, right? But I just think that him, if he's Speaker of the House, bruh, if he's Speaker of the House and Kamala is motherfucking president, man, I would be so comfortable. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? That should be crazy. That means Mitch McConnell will not be in the way, and motherfucking MAGA Mike won't be in the way. That shit's crazy. Especially MAGA Mike, bitch ass.
Now there's only 76 days left. There are only 76 days left. We must continue to speak up. We must continue to show up. We must continue to stand up, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans. And when we do, nothing can stop Kamala Harris from becoming the 47th president of the United States of America. Nothing can stop House Democrats from taking back the majority. Nothing can stop the American people from continuing our march toward a more perfect union. Nothing can stop us. We're all the way
Nothing
up.
can stop us.
God bless
You know,
you.
I
God bless Kamala Harris. May God bless the United States of America.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
You want to go outside today? Yeah. Want to go put your shoes on?
Yes.
Let's go outside. Ruby is 2 years old. I'm starting to think, will she be an iron worker like her dad? I hate to break it to you, but I'm not a billionaire. Donald Trump talked a big game about bringing jobs back to America, but it was all talk, like Foxconn.
This is the eighth wonder of the world. Foxconn, by most estimates, has not even come close to meeting expectations.
This whole project was a scam. He is not looking out for the residents. He's looking out for himself.
You know what Trump delivered? $2 trillion in tax cuts focused on his billionaire buddies and big corporations.
You're rich as hell.
It makes me angry. Billionaires don't pay their share of the load. And he wants to do that again. Trump talked a massive game about infrastructure. What a joke.
We call it Infrastructure Week. Infrastructure is the easiest of all. We're going to get this infrastructure going.
Trump was too incompetent to get it done. Who's he looking out for? Not us, not my family. You know who got it done? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Biggest infrastructure package in history. Infrastructure is just a fancy word for jobs. Not just union workers, but for everyone. Small businesses are booming. Communities are starting to thrive again. I wish it was faster. The prices are easing. Kamala Harris helped deliver the largest job growth in American history. Wages are higher. Manufacturing is booming. We're building roads, bridges, airports again. That's a fact. And we have healthcare.
When our middle class is strong, America is strong.
Kamala's goal is to rebuild the middle class. for families like mine.
Hold on. Let's talk. First of all, the thing about that is it shows you how Trump got most of his votes. You feel me? By most white people that work believing the stuff he was saying out of his mouth. You feel me? Now we look at all the motherfucking people that follow him as motherfucking racist, right? But some of these people are just people that just work, like, you know what I'm saying, 9 to 5, like, man, you worked in the motherfucking warehouse, that type shit. And it's white people that does that. They gotta remember that him being a racist does not affect white people. That's why I be trying to tell people that white people in general really is not affected by a motherfucker being racist if he put racist policies out. So that ain't gonna be it. But when it comes to when you talk about jobs, infrastructure, and all that stuff, when he come out there and say that, that will get white people to vote for him that works in mills and steel plants, like, or pig plants, like me and you worked at, right?
Yeah,
because hold on, because the racism part of it is not on their plate. You feel me? They only voting because can you get them a job or not? You know what I'm saying? Is my job secure? You feel me? They don't care about the racism part. You know what I'm saying?
I need to take a break here because Bill Clinton is speaking.
Because I've seen all these things that even I have to be reminded of from time to time when I get my spirits down. I love seeing the Obamas here. I love seeing President Biden. And I thought Hillary gave a great speech too. And I love seeing all these young leaders. A bunch of them are coming up after me. They look better, they sound better, and they'll be exciting. I do want to say one word about President Biden. Remember, he had an improbable turn that made him president. And we were in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crash. He healed our sick and put the rest of us back to work. And he strengthened our alliances for peace and security. He stood up for Ukraine. He's trying desperately to get a ceasefire in the Middle East. And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power. And George Washington knew that, and he did it. And he set the standard for us serving 2 terms before it was mandatory. It helped his legacy, and it will enhance Joe Biden's legacy. And it's a stark contrast to what goes on in the other party. So I want to thank him for his courage, compassion, his class, his service, his sacrifice. Joe Biden, thank you. And he kept the faith, and he's infected a lot of the rest of us. Now let's cut to the chase. I am too old to gild the lily. 2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family for 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump. Last night, in what I thought was a very moving series of episodes, we nominated Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And just think about that. 2 leaders with all-American but still improbable life stories. It could only happen here. Their careers, after all, started in community courtrooms and classrooms. 2 leaders who spent a lifetime getting the good job done. Now, one of the things that I've noticed over my increasingly long life is that a presidential election is unique in several ways. First of all, it's the greatest job interview for the greatest job in the world. Secondly, the Constitution says we, the people, get to do the hiring. And the third thing is that every 4 years, we get to change the requirements for the job. So here's what I'm thinking, because I try to apply this in every election. Will this president take us backward or forward? Will this president give our kids a brighter future? Depends. Will this president bring us together or tear us apart? Will the president increase the peace, security, and stability and freedom that we enjoy and extend it to others as we can? We, the people, we have to make a decision about these kind of questions. And every 4 years, it's a little different because the people come at the candidates, and they say, as they're saying now, here are our problems, solve them. Here are our opportunities, seize them. Here are our fears, ease them. Here are our dreams, help them come true. A president can answer that call by saying, I'll do my part, but you have to help me. We have to work together. Or you can dodge what needs to be done by dividing, distracting, and diverting us. So in 2024, we got a pretty clear choice, it seems to me. Kamala Harris for the people, and the other guy who's proved even more than the first go around that he's about me, myself, and I. I know which one I like better for our country. Kamala Harris will work to solve our problems, seize our opportunities, ease our fears, and make sure every single American, however they vote, has a chance to chase their dreams. You know, when she was young, she worked at McDonald's. And she greeted every person with that 1,000-watt smile and said, "How can I help you?" Now she's at the pinnacle of power, and she's still asking, how can I help you? I'll be so happy when she actually enters the White House as president, because she will break my record as the president who spent the most time at McDonald's. Now, but we got an election to win. And remember, we've got a guy that's pretty good at what he does. Donald Trump has been a paragon of consistency. He's still dividing, he's still blaming, he's still belittling other people. He creates chaos, and then he sort of curates it as if it were precious art. Let me say, not a single day goes by, even though I've been gone for well over 23 years from the White House, not a day goes by that I don't thank the Lord for the chance I had to serve and what it meant. And one of the reasons, thank you. Wait. One of the reasons I love the job so much is that in the toughest times, even on the darkest days, if you try hard enough, there's always something good you could do for somebody else. Now, some days that's not easy to do. You've got to deal with all these emergencies, or there's something going on here, there, or yonder. But Kamala Harris is the only candidate in this race who has the vision, the experience, the temperament, the will, and yes, the sheer joy to get something done. I mean, look, what does her opponent do with his voice? He mostly talks about himself, right? So the next time you hear him, don't count the lies, count the eyes. Count the eyes. His vendettas, his vengeance, his complaints, his conspiracies. He's like one of those tenors opening up before he walks out on stage, like I did, trying to get his lungs open by singing me, 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 me. When Kamala Harris is president, every day will begin with you, 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 you. So, we got to ask ourselves the questions if we're going to hire a president. Do you want to build a strong economy from the bottom up and the middle out? Or do you want to spend the next 4 years talking about crowd size? You're going to have a hard time believing this, but so help me, I triple checked it. Since the end of the Cold War in 1989, America has created about 51 million new jobs. I swear I checked this 3 times. Even I couldn't believe it. What's the score? Democrats 50, Republicans 1. I'm glad that we've got a championship winning coach on our team. But even the most limited of us in what we know about football or any other sport knows that if you're got 50 and the other side's got 1, you're ahead. What about affordable housing? It's a terrible problem in America now. We need more. And affordable health care. That's why the Democrats put a limit on monthly payments for insulin and a $2,000 a year out-of-pocket limit, and are trying to cover more drugs by bargaining for prices. We need more financing for small businesses. We need still to strengthen our alliances. I almost croaked in the first debate of this election season when President Trump said nobody respected America anymore like they did when he was president. Wait. And with a straight face. Look, you got to give him, he's a good actor. With a straight face, he cited as evidence of the respect that existed for us when he was there, the presidents of North Korea and Russia. I'd rather have the people who respect us now. And one of the things is when you send a signal to the other countries, you want them to know whether they agree with you or not, at least that you're on the level. Here's where you are and what you believe. What are they supposed to make to these endless tributes to the late, great Hannibal Lecter? I mean, President Obama once gave me the great honor of saying I was the explainer-in-chief. Folks, I've thought about it, and I don't know what to say. Like Hakeem Jeffries, I too want an America that's more joyful, more inclusive, more future-focused. Just think what a burden it's been on us to get up day after day after day after day, buried in meaningless hot rhetoric, when there's so many opportunities out there, so many problems that need to be solved. I want that. And that's the America Kamala Harris will lead. And she's already made her first presidential decision, and she knocked it out of the park when she asked Governor Tim Walz to be her nominee for vice president. As they used to say when I was a young man growing up in Arkansas, you do not have to be all broke out with brilliance. You just look at Tim Walz, listen to him, follow his record as a teacher, as a coach in the National Guard, as a congressman, where he was the only Democrat, save one, elected in that district in more than 100 years. And he stayed a long time. And then he became a great governor. And by all accounts, he was a crack shot who had the courage among his rural constituents to say, we do not need these assault weapons available to people who can kill our kids in school.
You took my words right out of my mouth. Don't tell me, Bill, you've been listening to
So
this podcast.
armed with a
bro.
reversed decision, Kamala Harris confronts an interesting dilemma. We're going to walk out of here feeling pretty good, I think. We've got energy, we are happy, we feel like a load's off our shoulders. And we know we're just being asked to fight the same fight that the forces of progress have had to fight for 250 years. In the face of stiff and often violent opposition, we have to find a way to go forward together, where we the people make our union more perfect. So that's a good thing. How could we possibly lose? Kamala Harris has fought for kids her whole life that were left out and left behind. She's taken on gangs trafficking across the border. She's fought to protect the rights of homeowners. She's been our leader in the fight for reproductive freedoms, and we know a majority of the American people are with us on that. And she's gained an invaluable amount of experience as vice president, advancing our values and interests around the world. She's already said she's going to work really hard to make sure that no American working full-time lives in poverty or has to worry about their children living in poverty. He says that we got to make home ownership an achievable dream for everyone, not just a privilege. She said that and this meant a lot to me, that she would protect everybody's right to vote, whether or not they voted for her. They were citizens and they deserve the right to vote. The other day, her opponent implied that as his people voted one more time, they'd be able to rig it from now on and they wouldn't have to vote again. You think they're kidding, but I know a lot of these folks, and most of them are really good people, but some of them think that they are bound to dominate America politically, economically, and socially, and they have to use politics to do it, and they should rig the system. I don't believe that. And so here's what I want to tell you. We've seen more than one election slip away from us when we thought it couldn't happen, when people got distracted by phony issues or overconfident. This is a brutal, tough business. I want you to be happy. One of the reasons that President-to-be Harris is doing so well is that we're all so happy. But you should never underestimate your adversary. And these people are really good at distracting us, at triggering doubt, at triggering buyer's remorse. As the Obama said so eloquently last night, they are human, you know. They're bound to make a mistake now and then. We got to be tough. And so, as somebody who spends a lot of time in small towns and rural areas in New York and Arkansas and other places, I urge you to talk to all your neighbors. I urge you to meet people where they are. I urge you not to demean them, but not to pretend you don't disagree with them if you do. Treat them with respect, just the way you'd like them to treat you. Ask for their help and then follow our leader, Kamala, and ask them, how can I help you? We Democrats right now have a lot of hay in the barn. We've got massive achievements, massive advances, but there's still a lot of slips between today and Election Day that we have to navigate. And so I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I have no idea how many more of these I'll be able to come to. I started in '76 and I've been to every one since. But no, 72. Lord, I'm getting old. But here's what I want you to know. If you vote for this team, if you can get them elected and let them bring in this breath of fresh air, you will be proud of it for the rest of your life. Your children will be proud of it. Your grandchildren will be proud of it. Take it from a man who once had the honor to be called in this convention the man from hope. We need Kamala Harris, the president of joy, to lead us. So, I'll be doing my part, you do yours. I'll see you when we're making a real joyful noise when the votes are counted. God bless you, and God bless America.
All right, before they go on, right? There's a couple things I want to touch on before they go on. First is Clinton was my motherfucking first motherfucking in fact, he got me into politics by running to the McDonald's, something he referenced in his speech and shit. And it got me into politics where I'm just paying attention. I wasn't really diving into it deep, but I just started paying attention to it more. And at the time, he was one of the motherfuckers that can really just talk and explain shit real clear and simple to you and shit, right? And looking at him now, right? Like if you was to drop him in right now at the age of motherfucking Biden and Trump, like he is right there, it'll be almost equivalent to Biden. You'll just be like, oh man, they just too old. You know what I'm saying? And that right there shows that people don't understand how vicious he was with the speeches and shit. He was like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of shit done when he was president. And when you look at him now, it's just like, just imagine, because he's the same age as Trump right now. And it was imagine if you were to say, all right, let's let Clinton run against Trump. And it'd be like, God, you would probably still feel the same way you would with Biden and shit. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is, they doing a whole lot of him, Mrs. Obama, and Obama did a lot of saying, don't worry about what's about to happen next. Like, I don't know if you caught that, but they always would say, no matter what they're about to go through next, they're gonna say stuff about it. They're gonna do this and that. The polls gonna drop or some shit like that, right? But all three of them, now we gotta realize they was in the White House and shit. They won it. They won the 2 fucking terms. And they both stressed that no matter what happens from this point on, that don't waver, right? Don't change your mind. Don't do anything, because nothing's going to be different. She's still the same person. But what we about to go through in the next couple of months is going to be crazy. Did you catch that?
Trying to tell everybody.
Oh, what you think about the speech?
Oh, the speech that was a Clinton speech. Clinton, the elder statesman of the party now. He the old head of the party. Well, he the OG. Obama the rock star. So, you know, that's what Bill gonna do. He gonna come out there and tell you, look, don't think this shit's sweet. Shit is cool right now. Rising in the polls, you got the enthusiasm, but it ain't over. The other side got some tricks. The other side got some dirty tricks.
Yeah. But you noticed that though, right? All three of them were saying that.
Yeah. They just said, yeah. Biden said it.
Hell
Obama said it and Clinton said it.
Hell yeah. That's key to
This
that.
motherfucker right
But this
here.
is the first motherfucking woman Speaker of the House.
And winning difficult elections, quickly securing the nomination with dignity and grace, and choosing Tim Walz as our vice president. I had the honor of serving with Tim for 12 years in the Congress. He united Democrats, Republicans, and independents to turn a red district blue. He showed courage when he came to Congress in voting for the Affordable Care Act, meeting the needs of his constituents despite Republicans' lies and misrepresentation. When he went home, won the election, he returned to Congress. He fought for our Americans' heroes as the Democratic leader of the Veterans Affairs Committee. Thank you, Tim. January 6th was a perilous moment for our democracy. Never before had a president of the United States so brazenly assaulted the bedrock of our democracy, so gleefully embraced political violence, so willfully betrayed his oath of office. Let us not forget who assaulted democracy on January 6th. He did. But let us not forget who saved democracy that day. We did. And thank God we had a Democratic House of Representatives then. We returned to the Capitol that very same night. We insisted on certifying the election results on the floors of the House and the Senate. And we demonstrated to America and to the world that American democracy prevailed. The parable of January 6th reminds us that our democracy is only as strong as the courage and commitment of those entrusted with its care. And we must choose leaders who believe in free and fair elections, who respect the peaceful transfer of power. The choice couldn't be clearer. Those leaders are Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. When the sun rose on January 7th, as our national anthem declares, we gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Now, in this election, we are called upon to do the same, to stand together, to reject autocracy, to choose democracy, and we will do so by electing a Democratic House with Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House, electing a Democratic Senate, electing Tim Walz as Vice President of the United States, and electing Kamala Harris as the President of the United States. Onward to victory!
That's another old motherfucker, but at the same time, she got a lot of shit done. She did a lot of shit during the motherfucking pandemic, all types of shit. So she one of the best speakers to ever live, and she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? So can't deny that. But look at them again. She got to be there 80, 81 or some shit. It's the same shit. It's like I don't know what to say. It's like you can't hate on it because people are voting for these people in their own districts and where they live at. So obviously they like them. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hate on them keep voting them back in. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But when you look at, she's not really running for nothing nationally, so it don't even matter. So, but anybody running for national shit like Trump, running for president and shit, like some point in time, the age got to be a serious issue, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she 84. She been in the motherfucking Congress forever. She got her district on lock. And she's really powerful. But she always makes time. I think it's about her legacy right now. I think she want to be like, if Kamala wins, she will never be the most powerful woman in the world. She ain't that nothing. Kamala made it to a spot no other woman made it as vice president. So she can only lock herself in the number 2. So she's flexing right now. Got the power, she gonna flex.
We're gonna touch on it, her getting Biden out in a minute.
Others' perspectives, no matter their age or their background.
Auntie, we love you.
We're so proud of you.
And most importantly, you're a baller. And as you'd say, let's win this thing.
Let's win this thing.
Please welcome nominee for U.S. Congress in California, Latifah Simon.
Shouts out to the black ladies. All these running for Senate, especially in Maryland too. Shouts out to God damn it. Hey Tony, say her name.
Hello, Democrat.
You run for Senate in Maryland.
Oh,
My
also,
name
but
is Latifah
Yeah,
Simon,
also
and
Burt.
I am running for Congress.
And there's another
I ain't
black
got
lady.
And
that.
I'm here tonight to tell you all about the Kamala Harris that I know. I'm gonna tell you.
Can I pop Oprah and Tim Walz about to come up?
And Clinton motherfucking
When Kamala Harris
kept saying
was
her
the
name wrong
district
too.
attorney in San Francisco,
Kept saying
California,
Kamala.
I was a teen mother
What the hell?
running an organization working to end sex trafficking among beautiful young women and girls, to build the self-determination and power among those girls. And Kamala learned about the work that I was doing, and she asked me to join her team. And I joined her team. She saw my potential, my commitment, and the good work that we could do together. And I saw her. I saw Kamala Harris holding the hands of sexual assault survivors. I saw scores of mothers who lost their babies to gun violence, lining up day after day at the courthouse, waiting only to speak to Kamala because they knew that she would hear them, that she would truly see them. Because there's something about Kamala Harris. For those who know her, you know. When she hears your story, she carries it with her. When she sees you, she truly sees you. She truly sees you. She is the best among us. After working with Kamala Harris day in and day out for 5 years to create programs that supported young people to get out of the criminal justice system once and for all, with good jobs, with opportunity. She wanted to get to the root cause of a broken criminal justice system. I saw her chip away. She came early and she left late every single day because, you know, like those mothers, like those sexual assault survivors, when she goes to that Oval Office, when she goes into that Oval Office, I guarantee you she will take all of us with her. All of us. The single mothers, the disabled veterans, the low-income folks who are dying to survive, the immigrants who are trying to work towards the promise of America. She will take us all. The farm workers, she will take us all with her. All of us. That is the Kamala Harris that I know so deeply. That is the Kamala Harris that I love. A woman of the people. A woman, a fierce woman for the people. Good night, Democrats.
Please welcome former U.S. Associate Attorney General of the United States and the Vice President's brother-in-law, Tony West.
35 years ago, in my first week at law school, I met a new classmate, Maya Harris. We became best friends, but the way Kamala tells the story, We'd already fallen in love by graduation day. And when Maya and I married, I not only gained a life partner I love, a daughter I adore, and a mother-in-law I revered, someone I affectionately called Mother Harris, I also gained a sister I cherish, Kamala. Now, Maya, Kamala, and I each pursued different legal careers, but we were motivated by the same values: a belief in equal opportunity, a yearning for fairness, a passion for justice. Values Mother Harris taught those two little girls, values that powered Kamala's public service from the very beginning. You know, one of Kamala's very first cases in the district attorney's office, it involved a woman, an innocent woman, wrongfully arrested in a police raid. It was a Friday afternoon, and the courthouse was shutting down for the weekend. And look, most prosecutors, they would have gone home and dealt with the matter the following Monday. But not Kamala. You see, my sister-in-law knew that if the judge didn't see this woman that afternoon, she'd spend the entire weekend in jail. And Kamala, she wondered, does this woman work weekends? Would she lose her job? Does she have young kids at home? Who'd feed those kids? So Kamala pleaded for the judge to return to the bench and to hear the matter. And the judge agreed. And within minutes, that woman was released back to her family that night. Now, it may seem small, but that's what it means to stand up for justice. That's what it means to stand for the people. And as Kamala says, when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And look, believe me when I tell you, as a sister, a daughter, an auntie, and a mother, I've seen Kamala fight for her family. As district attorney, attorney general, US Senator, and Vice President of the United States, I have watched her fight in the halls of power for those who have no voice there. And as president, I know she'll fight for you. She'll fight for all of us. Because, friends, when Kamala fights, we win. Thank you. God bless you.
A crime against any one of us is a crime against all of us.
The work that she did as Attorney General was taking on issues to help people who were trying to make a life for themselves and their families.
When Kamala Harris came into office in 2011, the most urgent economic crisis facing communities throughout California was the foreclosure crisis.
For too many Californians, hopes for lasting homeownership have been dashed. Victims have fallen prey to a series of mortgage scams, fraud, and unfair business practices.
In order to get meaningful relief, we had to sue the banks and see through a lengthy litigation process.
When Kamala was sitting at the table negotiating, it wasn't just about the money, it was about real people. I vividly remember her thinking
Don't let
about
it make you.
Mommy, who could finally afford to buy her first home, and how proud Mommy was. So Kamala knew what was at stake for families and even whole communities.
We are very proud to announce a tremendous victory for California.
She truly believes that every single person, every American is worthy of the promise and the prosperity of this country. And every time Kamala has run for a bigger office, it's because she believes that she can have a bigger impact.
We are making a commitment tonight with this celebration of this Senate race to bring our country together.
In the Senate, to get a position on the Intelligence Committee is very coveted because it is about protecting our nation's security. And Kamala hit the ground running. She would not let a witness off easily.
Did you have any communications with Russian officials for any reason during the campaign that have not been disclosed?
I don't recall it. I need to be correct as best I can.
I do want you to be
and
honest.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
The questioning of Attorney General Sessions was historic. And she earned the respect of colleagues on both sides of the aisle.
Kamala, as a senator, was a truth teller. She was there to expose what some of these guys were and what they intended to do.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
They didn't know what hit them. And in those moments, so many people saw her for the first time and saw how tough she was.
Would you accept them recommending a charging decision to you if they had not reviewed the evidence?
Well, that's a question for Bob Mueller. He's the U.S. attorney.
I think you've made it clear, sir, that you've not looked at the evidence, and we can move on.
When she's on a mission, she is determined and relentless.
When our fundamental values are being attacked, do we retreat or do we fight? I say we fight.
If you want to go forward in this country, not go backward, then there is only one choice.
You gotta know that's
Please welcome Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto.
Hello, Chicago.
So what I'm noticing tonight is that it's more centered around giving her biography, yeah, but it's more centered around the border and border states. You know what I'm saying? Law and order type shit. You get that same feeling?
That's the theme of the night.
What is it?
The night's theme is law and order. It's 4 themes for 4 different nights. So you had one night, like last night they did a lot of talking about the economy. It was last night on Monday night. Then Monday night, one of the nights they talked about one thing. One night they talked about the economy, keeping America safe, and now tonight, yeah, they kind of pitching to Arizona,
yeah,
Vegas, New Mexico, with New Mexico on lock. But Arizona and Nevada is open.
But you can see, yeah, you see what I see too. It's like it's geared towards the border states.
Yeah. Well, something
work together
she got
to
more ways to
put
get it than
transnational criminals and drug smugglers behind bars. Holding criminals accountable, that's Kamala Harris. Listen, and when we took on human traffickers, Kamala had us meet with survivors so that we could understand who we were fighting for. Standing up for justice, that's Kamala Harris. So trust me when I say I know she will fight for our families and our freedoms. Now, we must fight for her. Every vote matters. I know. In 2016, Nevadans elected me, the granddaughter of a baker from Mexico, to serve as the first Latina in the United States Senate. I'll tell you what. And in 2022, my reelection came down to 7,928 votes. Because of voters in Nevada, the Democrats won the Senate majority.
Patriots declare their independence from a king and set ourselves on a path of self-determination. Generation after generation has embraced that responsibility. Ordinary Americans rising up, demanding more, seeking justice. And in every chapter of our American story, we've made progress and advanced the cause of freedom. Today we find ourselves writing that next chapter. Will we be a nation defined by chaos and extremism? Or will we choose a path of decency, honor, and continued progress? Kamala Harris, well, she has spent her entire career making progress. Donald Trump, a man with no guardrails, wants to take away our rights and our freedoms. And listen, while he cloaks himself in the blanket of freedom, what he's offering isn't freedom at all. Because hear me on this, it's not freedom to tell our children what books they're allowed to read. No, it's not. And it's not freedom to tell women what they can do with their bodies. And hear me on this, it sure as hell isn't freedom to say you can go vote, but he gets to pick the winner. That's not freedom. But you know what? You know what, Democrats? We are the party of real freedom. That's right. The kind of real freedom that comes when that child has a great public school with an awesome teacher because we believe in her future. Real freedom that comes when we invest in the police and in the community so that child can walk to and from school and get home safely to her mama. Real freedom that comes when she can join a union, marry who she loves, start a family on her own terms, breathe clean air, drink pure water, worship how she wants, and live a life of purpose where she is respected for who she is. Real freedom that comes when she can look at Madam President and know that this is a nation where anything and everything is possible. That is real freedom, and that is what we are fighting for. You know, Kamala and Tim's names may be on the ballot, but it's your rights. It's our rights. It's our future and freedoms that are on the line. And you have the power to shape the future of this country. Just like our ancestors who fought for freedom on the battlefield and sat in at lunch counters so our kids could stand up. Now it's on us. It's on us, my friends, to organize in our communities and on our For You pages around three basic American principles. We value our freedom, we cherish our democracy, and we love this country. And listen, we love this country. And listen, despite our challenges, hear me on this, I want you to know I have never been more hopeful because I see in all of you the enduring promise of America. E pluribus unum, out of many one. It's not merely a motto from the past, it's our direction for the future. You see, you all give me hope, and you all have the power. So let's use that power. Let's do the hard work necessary to win this election and write the next chapter in our American story. So are you ready to protect our rights? Are you ready to secure our freedoms? And are you ready to defend our democracy? And are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? America, let's get to work.
Please welcome author, activist, and youngest presidential inaugural poet in American history, Amanda Gorman.
We gather at this hallowed place because we believe in the American dream. We face a race that tests if this country we cherish shall perish from the earth, and if our earth shall perish from this country. It falls to us to ensure that we do not fall, for a people that cannot stand together cannot stand at all. We are one family, regardless of religion, class, or color. For what defines a patriot is not just our love of liberty, but our love for one another. This is loud in our country's call because while we all love freedom, it is love that frees us all. Empathy emancipates, making us greater than hate or vanity. That is the American promise, powerful and pure. Divided, we cannot endure, but united, we can endeavor to humanize our democracy and endear democracy to humanity. And make no mistake, cohering is the hardest task history ever wrote. But tomorrow is not written by our odds of hardship, but by the audacity of our hope, by the vitality of our vote. Only now, approaching this rare air, are we aware that perhaps the American dream is no dream at all, but instead a dare to dream together. Like a million roots tethered, branching up humbly, making one tree. This is our country, from many won, from battles won, our freedoms sung, our kingdom come has just begun. We redeem this sacred scene, ready for our journey from it. Together, we must birth this early republic and achieve an unearthly summit. Let us not just believe in the American dream, let us be worthy of it. Thank you.
There's a word I heard. The word is called freedom. Can you tell me what it means?
Interesting. Let me think about that for a second.
The spirit of freedom.
For me? Oh, yeah. Freedom to me means choice.
The ability to laugh with friends.
Be who you want to be. Go where you want to go.
Living your life day to day. Having new chapters in that life.
I believe in having your own words and being able to do what you want to.
The freedom to raise our family in healthy communities.
The idea that I can turn to my partner, my husband, and say I love you with every being of my soul.
Being able to start a family when I want to, being able to, support the missions that I want to go to the church that I want to.
Not everyone has the same opportunities, but the United States is, of anywhere I've ever been, it's the one place where you can accomplish more.
The big, fantastic thing about America is that it is the land of opportunity. I know it sounds trite, but it's the truth.
I grew up with a single mom, and she really imbued in me these qualities that you just really have to care about your neighbors and your family and your friends.
I feel like the American dream is having opportunities, having opportunity to go to college if you want to, having opportunity to get any job you can, no matter who you are or where you come from.
The American dream is about having the ability to make choices about your medical care and do whatever you want to do with your life without anybody telling you if it's good or not.
We are in an incredible moment in history. We've seen women stripped of their most fundamental right to autonomy over their bodies.
The freedom to make choices about your body, your life, your career should be entirely in your control.
But I have found that good people want to do good things.
That you find a way to move forward under ugly and scary circumstances.
The work that lies ahead is to make America live up to its highest ideals. And, we're proud to go to work.
The work to build a better future really depends on all of us coming together.
We have to bring back that respect for everyone.
I don't think we're as divided as we seem.
Let's come together as one big nation.
I feel like we are on the verge of something very amazing in this country.
It makes me want to fight for our children and future generations to ensure they have just as many, if not more, freedoms than we had.
I believe in a future where my mom can feel safe no matter where she is in the country.
A future that is filled with a healthy and vibrant planet, where families are not separated by fences or jail bars.
A future in which we all get what we need.
I want to see that for people who are younger than me.
Hopefully the kids I teach can chase their dreams and believe in what they want to be.
I want a future for him that he knows that he's covered and protected.
Everyone should think about what we can leave to the next generation. It's our responsibility. It's what we have to do.
My name's Tyler.
My name's Yvette.
And we believe in love.
I'm Alex.
I'm Kiara.
My name is Steven.
My name is Charlie. I'm a proud 7th generation Texan.
I am from Waterford, Michigan, just north of Detroit.
I'm from East Tennessee.
And we believe in the American dream. We believe in a better world for our child, and we believe in this country.
My name is Karen, and I believe in justice.
My name is Nancy.
My name is Thoreau.
My name is Jennings.
My name is Dana,
My name is Todd.
and we believe in freedom.
My name is Gina, and I believe in freedom.
My name is Pat, and I believe in the freedom to work together.
Please
say something before they go. I noticed one thing about the motherfucking Republican joint compared to this joint is Republicans try to make you feel sympathetic and emotional for Trump getting shot in his ear, right? But at the same time, this convention did it different, where they not one individual. It's like different people with different stories get you emotional. It's different.
That was some epic fire, wasn't it? Some epic fire. We're now so fired up, we can't wait to leave here and do something.
Now I said where Oprah at, and damn, there she is.
And what we're going to do is elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
That pretty much cover up almost all my bases.
To have been asked to speak on tonight's theme.
Like everything I think of, they does it.
To me, to you, and all of us Americans, freedom.
Now, if you put a comedian on your staff or something, like
there
anybody,
are people who want you to see our country as a nation of us against them. People who want to scare you, who want to rule you. People who'd have you believe that books are dangerous and assault rifles are safe. That there's a right way to worship and a wrong way to love. People who seek first to divide and then to conquer. But here's the thing. When we stand together, it is impossible to conquer us. In the words of an extraordinary American, the late Congressman John Lewis.
My guy.
He said, no matter what ship our ancestors arrived on, we are all in the same boat now. Congressman Lewis knew very well how far this country has come because he was one of the brilliant Americans who helped to get us where we are. But he also knew that the work is not done. The work will never be done because freedom isn't free. America is an ongoing project. It requires commitment. It requires being open to the hard work and the heart work of democracy. And every now and then, it requires standing up to life's bullies. I know this. I've lived in Mississippi, in Tennessee, in Wisconsin, Maryland, Indiana, Florida, Hawaii, Colorado, California, and California. And sweet home Chicago, Illinois. I have actually traveled this country from the redwood forest, love those redwoods, to the Gulf Stream waters. I've seen racism and sexism and income inequality and division. I've not only seen it, at times I've been on the receiving end of it. But more often than not, what I've witnessed and experienced are human beings, both conservative and liberal, who may not agree with each other, but who'd still help you in a heartbeat if you were in trouble. These are the people who make me proud to say that I am an American. They are the best of America. And despite what some would have you think, We are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We don't wonder who their partner is or how they voted. No, we just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, well, we try to get that cat out too. Because we are a country of people who work hard for the money. We wish our brothers and sisters well, and we pray for peace. We know all the old tricks and tropes that are designed to distract us from what actually matters, but we are beyond ridiculous tweets and lies and foolery. These are complicated times, people, and they require adult conversation. And I welcome those conversations because civilized debate is vital to democracy, and it is the best of America. Now, over the last couple of nights, we have all seen brave people walk onto the stage and share their most private pain. Amanda and Josh, Caitlin, Hadley, they told us their stories of rape and incest and near-death experiences from having the state deny them the abortion that their doctor explained was medically necessary. And they've told us these things for one reason, and that is to keep what happened to them from happening to anybody else. Because if you do not have autonomy over this, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream. The women and men who are battling to keep us from going back to a time of desperation and shame and stone cold fear, they are the new freedom fighters. And make no mistake, they are the best of America. I want to talk now about somebody who's not with us tonight. Tessie Prevost Williams was born in New Orleans, not long after the Supreme Court ruled that segregated public schools were unconstitutional. That was in 1954, same year I was born. But I didn't have to head to first grade at the all-white McDonough 19 school with a U.S. Marshal by my side like Tessie did. And when I got to school, the building wasn't empty like it was for Tessie. You see, rather than allowing McDonough to be integrated, parents pulled their kids out of the school, leaving only Tessie and two other little Black girls, Gail Etienne and Leona Tate, to sit in a classroom with the windows papered over to block snipers from attacking their 6-year-old bodies. Tessie passed away 6 weeks ago. And I tell this story to honor her tonight because she like Ruby Bridges and her friends, Leona and Gail, the New Orleans Four, they were called. They broke barriers and they paid dearly for it. But it was the grace and guts and courage of women like Tessie Prevost Williams that paved the way for another young girl who 9 years later became part of the second class to integrate the public schools in Berkeley, California. And it seems to me that at school and at home, somebody did a beautiful job of showing this young girl how to challenge the people at the top and empower the people at the bottom. They showed her how to look at the world and see not just what is, but what can be. They instilled in her a passion for justice and freedom and the glorious fighting spirit necessary to pursue that passion. And soon, and very soon, and very soon, we're going to be teaching our daughters and sons about how this child of an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, two idealistic, energetic immigrants, how this child grew up to become the 47th president of the United States. That is the best of America. You know, let me tell you this. This election isn't about us and them. It's about you and me and what we want our futures to look like. There are choices to be made when we cast our ballot. Now, there's a certain candidate that says if we just go to the polls this one time, that we'll never have to do it again. Well, you know what? You're looking at a registered independent who's proud to vote again and again and again because I'm an American and that's what Americans do. Voting is the best of America. And I have always, since I was eligible to vote, I've always voted my values. And that is what is needed in this election now more than ever. So I'm calling on all you independents and all you undecideds. You know this is true. You know I'm telling you the truth, that values and character matter most of all. In leadership and in life. And more than anything, you know this is true, that decency and respect are on the ballot in 2024. And just plain common sense. Common sense tells you that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can give us decency and respect. They're the ones that give it to us. So, we are Americans. We are Americans. Let us choose loyalty to the Constitution over loyalty to any individual. Because that's the best of America. And let us choose optimism over cynicism, because that's the best of America. And let us choose inclusion over retribution. Let us choose common sense over nonsense. Because that's the best of America. And let us choose the sweet promise of tomorrow over the bitter return to yesterday. We won't go back. because that's the best of America. But more than anything else, let us choose freedom. Why? Because that's the best of America. We're all Americans, and together, let's all choose Kamala Harris. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you, America.
All right, there's a couple things I want to touch on before they go any further, right? First, Ben Shapiro came on before her, and even though he had a good speech, I couldn't imagine him being her running mate at this point now. Like, he just wouldn't be it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know if she's seen it before. She already knew him for 20 years, but I don't know. I just feel like that was good. Besides the baggage he had, just the visual and the way he was speaking and all that, it wouldn't have helped her ticket at all, right? And then to have Oprah on this joint, bro, is huge. Huge. To have Oprah not just supporting you, saying I support you, but on the joint speaking. You know what I'm saying? So that was huge when she bring up the motherfucker Jim Crow era, when the kids went to the school and all white kids was pulled out of the school and you was left with 3 black kids in a whole big ass school. And then you had a motherfucker cover the windows up so the KKK won't kill your kid. And then you hear a motherfucker like the fool from Florida say Jim Crow was good. Shit is crazy, bro. But it's good that Oprah brought that situation up. She told that story, and it was a good point that she brought up. And this is Maryland governor, and everybody remember him from the bridge collapse, when they started the whole DEI shit.
Thank you. Thank you. On March 26th, at 1:30 in the morning, a container ship the length of 3 football fields slammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, and the bridge collapsed. A port that drives 13% of our state's economy was now closed. Thousands of workers were hours away from waking up and realizing they no longer had a job. 6 Marylanders who'd been on the bridge in the middle of the night fixing potholes lost their lives. And one of the first phone calls that I got that morning started with these 3 words. Gov, it's Kamala. She said, I know you spoke to the president, and I want you to know we are here with you every step of the way. Now, I joined the Army when I was 17. In fact, I was too young to sign the paperwork. I had to ask my mom to sign the paperwork for me because I don't have bone spurs. I led soldiers in combat in Afghanistan. And my training taught me that you never learn anything about anybody when times are easy. You learn everything you need to know about somebody when times are hard and when the temperature gets turned up. And America, I saw that Kamala Harris is the right one to lead in this moment firsthand. And united with the Almighty God's grace We brought closure to the families of the 6 victims. And while many said it could take 11 months to reopen the port of Baltimore, we got it done in 11 weeks. Because that is the story of America. We are a nation of patriots who serve when the mission is hard and who serve when the destination is uncertain. And I know our history isn't perfect. The unevenness of the American journey has made some skeptical. But I'm not asking you to give up your skepticism. I just want that skepticism to be your companion and not your captor. And I'm asking that you join us in the work. Because making America great doesn't mean telling people you're not wanted. And loving your country does not mean lying about its history. Making America great means saying the ambitions of this country would be incomplete without your help. It's the legacy of those 6 workers who fixed potholes on a bridge while we slept, who were born in a different country, but who knew that America was big enough for them too. It's the journey.
I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. This is Hoodview Politics. It is the convention night 3. This is the night the vice president gets nominated as the vice president nominee for vice president of the United States. Now, my thing I want to hear from him literally is, I just want to hear him tell his story. I don't want him to get into, because I don't know if you heard or not, that J.D. Vance said that he ain't had no baby through the veto transplant, whatever the fuck that's called. So now he said the man ain't served. Now the man said the man ain't had a baby. Them motherfuckers just throwing anything out that joint, bro. Like, what the, huh?
Grown, the kids been there, and the kids got there through some kind of procedure. So whatever the fuck JD Vance talking about,
it's the wildest shit, bruh. This shit is crazy. It's like, what are y'all thinking of? Y'all got to figure something else better than that.
And now, Tim,
like a nigga of 24 years, you want to say
that
some
in
shit
the
about
military,
me?
you count the days
Nigga have a baby
toward
without
mission
fucking.
completion.
You want to say the words of what?
So guess
like,
what, y'all?
What are we doing?
Right.
We have got 75 days and a wake up until Election Day. 75 days and a wake up for us to prove what Americans can do when the pressure is on. 75 days and a wake up for us to show that true patriots do not whine and complain. We put our heads down and we get to work. 75 days and a wake up to build a future that those who came before us hope for, and those who come after us that they deserve. And 75 days and a wake up to elect a leader who is willing to believe in the best of us, and that leader is Kamala Harris, the next president of the United States. Thank you, God bless you, and let's leave no one behind.
Now, you think he would have been all right as a vice president candidate?
I think he'd have been all right, but
2 black people would have been a problem.
I think he got high ambitions than vice president. He when he like whatchamajigger, he just needs some polish. He just need to get his shit together. He need to get polished up. Yeah. He won't be fucked with. He'll be at least a vice president, or maybe he'll be at the top of the ticket.
I really fuck with this dude right here, Bougie, whatever the fuck his name is.
Here's a sentence I never thought I'd hear myself saying. I'm Pete Buttigieg, and you might recognize me from Fox News. I believe in going anywhere, in service of a good cause, and friends, we gather in a very good cause, electing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the next president and vice president of the United States. The choice could not be clearer. Donald Trump rants about law and order, as if he wasn't a convicted criminal running against a prosecutor. As if we were going to forget that crime was higher on his watch. Talks about the forgotten man, hoping we'll forget that the only economic promise that he actually kept was to cut taxes for the rich. And don't even get me started on his new running mate. At least Mike Pence was polite. J.D. Vance is one of those guys who thinks if you don't live the life that he has in mind for you, then you don't count. Someone who said that if you don't have kids, you have, quote, no physical commitment to the future of this country. You know, Senator, when I deployed to Afghanistan, I didn't have kids then. Many of the men and women who went outside the wire with me didn't have kids either. But let me tell you, our commitment to the future of this country was pretty damn physical. Choosing a guy like J.D. Vance to be America's next vice president sends a message. And the message is that they are doubling down on negativity and grievance. Committing to a concept of campaigning best summed up in one word: darkness. Darkness is what they are selling. The thing is, I just don't believe that America today is in the market for darkness. I believe America is ready for a better kind of politics. Yes, politics at its worst can be ugly, crushing, demeaning, but it doesn't have to be. At its best, politics can be empowering, uplifting. It can even be a kind of soul craft. My faith teaches me that the world isn't made up of good people and bad people, but rather that each of us is capable of good and bad things. And I believe leaders matter because of what they bring out in each of us, the good or the bad. Right now, the other side is appealing to what is smallest within you. They're telling you that greatness comes from going back to the past. They're telling you that anyone different from you is a threat. They're telling you that your neighbor or nephew or daughter who disagrees with you politically isn't just wrong, but is now the enemy. I believe in a better politics, one that finds us at our most decent and open and brave. The kind of politics that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are offering. And as you have felt these many days, that kind of politics also just feels better to be part of. There is joy in it, as well as power. And if all of that sounds naive, let me insist that I have come to this view not by way of idealism, but by way of experience. Not just the experience of my unlikely career. Someone like me serving in Indiana, serving in Washington, serving in uniform. I'm thinking of something much more basic. I'm thinking of dinner time at our house in Michigan. When the dog is barking and the air fryer is beeping and the mac and cheese is boiling over, and it feels like all the political negotiating experience in the world is not enough for me to get our 3-year-old son and our 3-year-old daughter to just wash their hands and sit at the table. It's the part of our day when politics seems the most distant, and yet the makeup of our kitchen table, the existence of my family, is just one example of something that was literally impossible as recently as 25 years ago, when an anxious teenager growing up in Indiana wondered if he would ever find belonging in this world. This kind of life went from impossible to possible, from possible to real, from real to almost ordinary in less than half a lifetime. But that didn't just happen. It was brought about through idealism and courage, through organizing and persuasion and storytelling, and yes, through politics, the right kind of politics, the kind of politics that can make an impossible dream into an everyday reality. I don't presume to know what it's like in your kitchen, but I know, as sure as I am standing here, that everything in it, the bills you pay at that table, the shape of the family that sits there, the fears and the dreams that you talk about late into the night there, all of it compels us to demand more from our politics than a rerun of some TV wrestling death match. So this November, we get to choose. We get to choose our president. We get to choose our policies, but most of all, we will choose a better politics. A politics that calls us to our better selves and offers us a better everyday. That is what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz represents. That is what Democrats represent. That is what awaits us when America decides to end Trump's politics of darkness once and for all. That is what we choose when we embrace the leaders who are out there building bridges and reject the ones who are out there banning books. This is what we will work for every day to November and beyond. So let's go win this. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you.
It's a couple things about this. This is another. If anybody don't know, there's another person that was in the finalists for the vice president candidate. And again, it's another situation where I fuck with somebody, but when you watch them now, they were not a better pick than Coach Walz. Say it again.
2020, so hindsight is 2020. You know,
No.
Looking back now, you can't see. I mean, you see how good they together. Don't nobody else fit. You know what I'm saying?
But you're looking at these people. These people speaking now. They speaking in front of you. You get to put them against Coach Walz. Which one was better?
If you're looking at Pamela and Tim Walz together at this point,
just them speaking.
Thinking about that, even looking at them speaking, they don't fit because you see how well you see with your own eyes how well they go together. That's why everybody had their pick before, you know. I like this one, I like this one. But now that you see it, who she picked and who she with and how it looked.
Good ass pick.
You to see. Yeah,
Back
she
to the
picked the right
guard.
one.
We'll get it done.
That's just the point I was trying to make. Just like it's obvious something she's seen before we seen. We're seeing it now.
Please
as I'm watching them
welcome
now.
EGOT-winning multi-platinum artist and activist
I wonder what's the battle from Arizona.
Queen of Percussion, Sheila E.
this thing called life. If you don't like the world you're living in, take a look around. At least you got friends. You see a old lady or a friendly word. She picked up the phone, dropped it on the floor. That's all I heard. Are we gonna let the elevator break us down? Oh, no, let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. Let's go for the purple banana till they put us in the truck. Let's go! We're all excited, but we don't know why.
Is that my girl though? On the drum?
And what we do? Oh, what's it all for? You better live now before the Grim Reaper comes knocking on your door. We gonna let the elephant break us down.
Let's go.
Let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. Let's go for the purple banana till they put us in the truck. Let's go! Come on, baby. I need everybody to get nuts with me. Come on. Are we on here? Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, we gonna let the elevator bring us down.
Let's go. Let's go.
Put your hands together.
Crazy.
Now everything be all right.
Is that my girl though that's on the drums? I'm trying to figure out that her.
Hey, tough children. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go! Yeah! Sheila E, everybody!
Sheila E. That's the name I was trying to remember. That is her then. Sheila E. That's my baby. I knew it was her too.
That was incredible. I just want to say I feel so motivated after tonight. It's like never been more clear that if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are elected this November, they're going to protect our freedoms. The freedom to read whatever books you want. The freedom to work one job and afford your rent. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will protect your freedom to start a family on your own terms. And if you ask me, that is something worth fighting for. So guys, let's do it. It's time. Let's nominate the next Vice President of the United States, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. And to take us there, please welcome to the stage, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar.
That Indian's going to look good.
Okay. That was a warm-up act. On behalf of the great state of Minnesota, where purple reigns,
Hey, how long you trying to go?
I stand before you in support of our next Vice President, Tim Walz. In Minnesota, we trust a coach who turned a team that was 0-27 into state champions. In Minnesota, we trust a hunter who has stood in a deer stand in 10-degree weather. In Minnesota, we trust a candidate who has made a viral video on how to change a burnt out headlight. And I know we aren't alone, but in Minnesota, we love a dad in plaid.
The only problem I had with this whole joint is they ain't really get into those pictures and videos he had with his daughter and all that.
For our neighbors. Tim has been doing that his whole life, on the farm and in the factory, with his students and his fellow service members. And the truth is, that matters. Who better to take on the price of gas than a guy who could pull over to help change your tire? Who better to serve our nation than a guy who has served in uniform? Who better to find common ground than a guy with Midwestern common sense? A former football coach knows how to level the playing field. And a former public school teacher knows how to school the likes of J.D. Vance. What you've done with your life matters, and what you do with power matters too. Tim has delivered paid leave, school lunches, and the biggest tax cut in Minnesota history. A Democrat from a red district in a purple state, Tim has brought Minnesota together. And together with Vice President Kamala Harris, I know he will do the same for our nation. America, there is so much that we share, so much that connects us. Way up north in Minnesota, out of Lake Itasca, flows the Mississippi River. It starts small and it grows wider. It flows down to Wisconsin and to Iowa. It goes down to Illinois and to Missouri. It goes to Kentucky and Tennessee. It goes to Arkansas, and it goes way down to Mississippi. And then it goes all the way down to New Orleans, Louisiana, where the spirit of our nation's resilience abounds. So let us commit here and now to cross the river of our divides to get to a higher ground. And let us join together to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Please welcome Ben Ingman from Minnesota.
Tim Walz is the kind of guy you can count on to push you out of a snowbank. I know this because Tim Walz has pushed me out of a snowbank. I grew up next door to the Walzes in Mankato. Mr. Walz was also my geography teacher and my coach. not for high school football, but for 7th grade basketball and track. So what was a high school football coach doing, coaching 7th grade basketball and track? Well, there was a kid in the high school who couldn't afford to pay for lunch, and he ran up a lot of debt. And Tim and Gwen decided they'd help pay it off. They started calling around the district to see if there were any positions they could fill to make a little extra money, and that's how he wound up coaching us 7th graders. That's right. Coach Walls got us excited about what we might achieve together. He believed in us, and he helped us believe in each other. And his leadership stuck. That track team went on to win a state title, just like the football team. That's right. Speaking of which, come on out, Scarlets. Yeah. You know, all this got me thinking about the kinds of leaders we need. We want the people in charge to be genuine, compassionate, and trustworthy. The thing is, there are people in our neighborhoods who fit this description. The kind of people who display quiet leadership by helping kids pay for their lunches, by bringing teams together to believe in each other. And when we're stuck in the snow, they push us out. Well, in my neighborhood, we always wish that people like that would run for office. Well, in my neighborhood, someone like that did run for office. And he's going to be a wonderful vice president. Thanks very much.
Out here in the wide open spaces, we are reminded of the values we share: a commitment to community, country, and standing up for what's right. Tim Walls grew up in a small town in Nebraska where he spent summers working the family farm. There were just 24 students in his graduating class. His dad served during the Korean War, and that meant a lot to Tim. So he enlisted right after his 17th birthday and served 24 years in the National Guard, rising to Command Sergeant Major. Tim went to college on the GI Bill and became a social studies teacher. That's where Tim and I met. We shared a classroom with a divider right down the middle. His classroom was a lot louder than mine, but I could hear how engaged his students were. Tim taught for over 15 years, and he coached football, helping lead the team to a state championship after 0 wins just a few years before. Tim taught them how to believe in themselves and that we're all in this together. When one of our students started the school's Gay Straight Alliance, Tim agreed to serve as faculty advisor because he knew how impactful it would be to have a football coach involved. He inspired his students, and he changed lives.
He is just so joyful in everything that he does, but I think also standing up for what he believes to be right, stands up to bullies.
Then Tim's students inspired him to run for Congress in southern Minnesota. Tim spent a lot of time working with Republicans, fighting to help farmers and expanding veterans benefits. Whether it was in Congress or as governor, His focus has always been helping working people like those he grew up with. That's why he fought for the largest tax cut in Minnesota state history.
But Tim Walz was there for small businesses like ours.
With the urging of Governor Walz, we were able to pass the Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act, and it has saved lives in Minnesota.
With Tim as governor, Minnesota is one of the best places to raise a family and one of the best states for business. Tim's a lifelong hunter and gun owner. But after the Sandy Hook school shooting, he knew that we had to do something. So he's fought for background checks and red flag laws. But of all the things he's done, Tim loves being a dad. We struggled to have kids, and fertility treatments made it possible. There's a reason our daughter is named Hope. Hope and Gus mean the world to us.
Governor Walz making good on a promise to his son and family yesterday by getting them a puppy.
Then we're going to go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then. And then,
Turkey's meat.
not in Minnesota, turkey special.
He's as at home on a farm, a fishing boat, a football field, or a factory floor as he is on the floor of Congress. Tim's commitment to service all comes back to the values we grew up with. Love your country, help your neighbor, and fight for what's right. Because that's what America is all about.
Two
Can you hear me?
middle-class
Can you hear me?
kids. One, a daughter of Oakland, California. The other, a son of the Nebraska Plains,
Say it again.
only in America. Is it possible for them
Can you hear me?
together
Yeah.
to make it all the way to the White
I'm about to
House?
let y'all ride. I gotta go eat. I got a long day tomorrow, so.
Please welcome the Democratic nominee for Vice President, Governor Tim Walz.
I was born in a small town. In a small town.
This time tomorrow night, we're gonna be breaking history. The first black lady to stand here where he at.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you, first of all, to Vice President Harris. Thanks for putting your trust in me and for inviting me to be part of this incredible campaign. And a thank you to President Joe Biden for 4 years of strong, historic leadership. It's the honor of my life to accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States. We're all here tonight for one beautiful, simple reason. We love this country. So thank you to all of you here in Chicago and all of you watching at home tonight. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your determination. And most of all, thank you for bringing the joy to this fight. Now, I grew up in Butte, Nebraska, a town of 400 people. I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale. But I'll tell you what, growing up in a small town like that, you learn how to take care of each other. That family down the road, they may not think like you do,
They may not pray like you do. They may not love like you do, but they're your neighbors. And you look out for them, and they look out for you. Everybody belongs, and everybody has a responsibility to contribute. For me, it was serving in the Army National Guard. I joined up 2 days after my 17th birthday, and I proudly wore our nation's uniform for 24 years. My dad, a Korean War era Army veteran, died of lung cancer a couple years later. He left behind a mountain of medical debt. Thank God for Social Security survivor benefits. And thank God for the GI Bill that allowed my dad and me to go to college, and millions of other Americans. Eventually, like the rest of my family, I fell in love with teaching. Three out of 4 of us married teachers. I wound up teaching social studies and coaching football at Mankato West High School. Go Scarlets! We ran a 44 defense. We played through to the whistle on every single play, and we even won a state championship. Never closed the yearbook, people. But it was those players and my students who inspired me to run for Congress. They saw in me what I had hoped to instill in them, a commitment to the common good, an understanding that we're all in this together, and the belief that a single person can make a real difference for their neighbors. So there I was, a 40-something high school teacher with little kids, 0 political experience, and no money, running in a deep red district. But you know what? Never underestimate a public school teacher. Never. I represented my neighbors in Congress for 12 years, and I learned an awful lot. I learned how to work across the aisle on issues like growing the rural economies and taking care of veterans. And I learned how to compromise without compromising my values. Then I came back to serve as governor, and we got right to work making a difference in our neighbors' lives. We cut taxes for the middle class. We passed paid family and medical leave. We invested in fighting crime and affordable housing. We cut the cost of prescription drugs and helped people escape the kind of medical debt that nearly sank my family. And we made sure that every kid in our state gets breakfast and lunch every day. So while other states were banning books from their schools, we were banishing hunger from ours. We also protected reproductive freedom because in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make. And even if we wouldn't make those same choices for ourselves, we've got a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. And that includes IVF and fertility treatments. And this is personal for Gwen and I. If you've never experienced the hell that is infertility, I guarantee you, you know somebody who has. And I can remember praying each night for a phone call. The pit in your stomach when the phone would ring, and the absolute agony when we heard the treatments hadn't worked. It took Gwen and I years, but we had access to fertility treatments. And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you. I'm letting you in
Never said that's my
on
dad.
how we started a family because this is a big part about what this election is about. Freedom. When Republicans use the word freedom, they mean that the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. Corporations free to pollute your air and water. And banks free to take advantage of customers. But when we Democrats talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make a better life for yourself and the people that you love. Freedom to make your own healthcare decisions. And yeah, your kids' freedom to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in the hall. Look, I know guns. I'm a veteran. I'm a hunter. And I was a better shot than most Republicans in Congress, and I got the trophies to prove it. But I'm also a dad. I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also believe our first responsibility is to keep our kids safe. That's what this is all about. The responsibility we have to our kids, to each other, and to the future that we're building together, in which everyone is free to build the kind of life they want. But not everyone has that same sense of responsibility. Some folks just don't understand what it takes to be a good neighbor. Take Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Their Project 2025 will make things much, much harder for people who are just trying to live their lives. They spent a lot of time pretending they know nothing about this. But look, I coached high school football long enough to know, and trust me on this, when somebody takes the time to draw up a playbook, they're going to use it. And we know if these guys get back in the White House, they'll start jacking up the costs on the middle class. They'll repeal the Affordable Care Act. They'll gut Social Security and Medicare. And they will ban abortion across this country with or without Congress. Here's the thing. It's an agenda nobody asked for. It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need. Is it weird? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's also wrong. And it's dangerous. It's not just me saying so. It's Trump's own people. They were with him for 4 years. They're warning us that the next 4 years will be much, much worse. You know, when I was teaching every year, we'd elect a student body president. And you know what? Those teenagers could teach Donald Trump a hell of a lot about what a leader is. Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work. So I don't know about you. I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. So go ahead. Say it with me. We're not going back. We've got something better to offer the American people. It starts with our candidate, Kamala Harris. From her first day as a prosecutor, as a district attorney, as an attorney general, as a United States senator, and then our vice president, she's fought on the side of the American people. She's taken on the predators and fraudsters. She's taken down the transnational gangs, and she stood up to powerful corporate interests. She has never hesitated to reach across that aisle if it meant improving your lives. And she's always done it with energy, with passion, and with joy. Folks, we've got a chance to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. But I think we owe it to the American people to tell them exactly what she'd do as president before we ask them for their votes. So here, this is the part, clip and save it and send it to your undecided relatives so they know. If you're a middle-class family or a family trying to get into the middle class, Kamala Harris is going to cut your taxes. If you're getting squeezed by prescription drug prices, Kamala Harris is going to take on Big Pharma. If you're hoping to buy a home, Kamala Harris is going to help make it more affordable. And no matter who you are, Kamala Harris is going to stand up and fight for your freedom to live the life that you want to lead. Because that's what we want for ourselves, and it's what we want for our neighbors. You know, you might not know it, but I haven't given a lot of big speeches like this. But I have given a lot of pep talks. So let me finish with this, team. It's the fourth quarter. We're down a field goal, but we're on offense and we've got the ball. We're driving down the field. And boy, do we have the right team. Kamala Harris is tough. Kamala Harris is experienced, and Kamala Harris is ready. Our job for everyone watching is to get in the trenches and do the blocking and tackling. 1 inch at a time, 1 yard at a time, 1 phone call at a time, 1 door knock at a time, 1 $5 donation at a time. Look, we got 76 days. That's nothing. There'll be time to sleep when you're dead. We're going to leave it on the field. That's how we'll keep moving forward. That's how we'll turn the page on Donald Trump. That's how we'll build a country where workers come first. Healthcare and housing are human rights. And the government stays the hell out of your bedroom. That's how we make America a place where no child is left hungry, where no community is left behind, where nobody gets told they don't belong. That's how we're gonna fight. And as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, thank you. God bless.
First of all, this is day 3, the ending of day 3, where you get to meet the vice president nominee and his family. I don't know. Me personally, man, I really like their family because, hey, bro, I don't know if you caught the motherfucking son when when main man said, "I love y'all," or some shit. Y'all gonna just jumped up and was like, "That's my dad. That's my dad right there." Like some shit they can do when they go to their kids' motherfucking basketball game. They score. Like, that's my son. Like, that's my dad. That's my dad. They just I don't know, man. It's hard to explain the family feeling I get from them. It's just like they're just a just a simple middle road, just a fucking, I don't know. The son seemed a little weird to me too, bro. He just seemed a little quirky or something. I don't know. But that's just I don't know. I like them. I like his wife. I like that whole thing, man. I just like them. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe because they teach. You all may like teachers until they be mean as fuck. I don't know. But overall, man, I fucks with the I like him a lot. Man. Some of the motherfucking people that was runner ups for the vice president joint, they was on here tonight, and it was clear that she made the right choice for that for sure. And I give him credit, man, because I don't know. Once these motherfucking debates come, I don't know. But I give him credit for a motherfucker just come out of the motherfucking small towns and motherfucking way, just like in 2-3 weeks, all of a sudden you're around 15,000, 20,000. Everywhere you go, it's 20,000 people flying off jets, planes. You pop it up, 20,000 people looking at you. This shit is new to him. You know what I'm saying? For him to handle all this shit and just be, you gotta give him a lot of credit, bro. Like, god damn. I just think it'd be just fun just for them to be in the office. They just seem fun. They just seem like, I don't know. It's just something about him and his family. It just seemed like just. That's that family on Halloween. You go there, just so much candy and shit. They calling. They got the door wide open and all types of shit. That's that family and shit. It's like, come on in. We got apples, oranges. They got candy over here, candy corns over here. What do you need? Oh, you got enough? Here, take some biscuits. Like, it's just the family is just. I don't know, yeah. I like them though, but it was a good night. We had a lot of people involved. The night was crazy. John Legend came on the joint, did a little bit of motherfucking Prince. That was all right. You know what I'm saying? And all through the theme of the night, man, there was one of the best nights, even though the other night was more hype because you had motherfucking Lil John and all the motherfuckers on there and the music and shit. But this joint was more, it hit more to a lot of different things. It told you more. If you was to go back and listen to this, it gave you a story of who she is, right? A lot of things she been through, a lot of situations she was in and shit. And then at the end, he comes up and he did a good job of saying who he was and what he for, and saying how much he loved the fact that he is now where he at now. And then he pivoted to who she was. And then he pivoted to them fools are trash. So he did a lot in that motherfucker. That speech that was some good shit though. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that one moment when he talked to his family was a touching moment and shit. That was a good moment where his son jumped out. He was all crying and shit. Like, that's my father and shit. Like, that's what's up. He's not Michael Jordan for you do all that, but that's cool. I get you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This is the motherfucking convention. We told y'all we's gonna be in this thing every fucking night that the convention comes on. Cause we in this, baby. You know what I'm saying, dog? But we be here most definitely podcasting Mondays and Fridays. You know what I'm saying? But now this is a special week. So we're gonna be on here each and every night to recap and go whatever's going on. And you know we're gonna damn sure be here tomorrow night when the first black lady is not accepts her nomination. You know what I'm saying, dog? So appreciate everybody. And you got Donald Trump tripping off a motherfucker crowd size. He had the nerve to say his crowd was bigger than this one. He needs to be slapped in his chin. Now, like I said, holler at your boys. Tuesdays, Fridays, we be live all day long. You catch us. We got shorts coming out on the YouTube channel. We got Twitter, Twitch. Holler at your boys with those joints. Facebook group. Follow us there. You know what I'm saying, dog? Which is motherfucking average Joes, black motherfuckers off the street talking politics. You know what I'm saying, dog? Hood view. You know what I'm saying, dog? Appreciate everybody. Shouts out to Rita. You know what I'm saying, dog? Strong black women. I love them.
Talking about politics coming from a view of the streets. You know what I'm saying, dog? We're not coming from professional view. We're not lawyers. None of that shit that's on TV. You know what I'm saying? We come straight from the hood. We the hood view.